Hello pen friends, it's JK Pens back with the next in our series of clear demonstrators. I'm going to try and make the rest of this series, I'm going to try and make each video a little briefer. There's plenty of reviews of most of these pens on YouTube and elsewhere, so I just really want to focus on their suitability as a low-cost demonstrator. Here we have the Jinhao 992. You can see Jinhao. This is a pretty well-known brand of inexpensive fountain pens from China. This is their Sailor 1911 or Platinum 3776 style model. It's a little smaller than a full-size 1911. It might be the same size as a 1911S. I don't own one of those. Anyways, the pen comes with a converter. As you can see, it's totally transparent body and cap, so that's promising for a demonstrator. It does not have the transparent feed and collectors as some of the other pens have had, which I slightly prefer on demonstrators because it shows off even more of the ink, but it's still quite good. Now, obviously, for a demonstrator with a clear barrel, we don't really want to use the converter, so I'm going to take that out. And then the question is, what happens if we put ink here? Because the barrel is not does not have any holes in it. It's not doesn't have vents like the Monami Olika did, or as the Pilot Gakuno does, which we'll see in a little bit. But it's clearly finished with this plug. You can see how that plastic is set in there. So the big question in my mind was, would it leak? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little science experiment here, and we're going to put some ink. This is a sample that I wanted to get in a pen for a little while. This is Encre Classique. And we're going to put that ink in there. Actually, maybe not quite so much. We're going to put just a little bit of ink just in case we have a disaster. Yeah, that's enough to test it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it down in this. Actually, let me put the parts together so it'll fit. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to put it down in this mason jar of water, and then we're going to let it sit, and we're going to see what we end up with. Does the water turn turquoise? That's the big mystery. Okay, we're back. It's about 24 hours later, and as you can see, the water does not, whoops, that was loud. The water has not taken on a turquoise color. So that's pretty good. So at least I think for this particular Jinhao 992, we have a winner. The seal does seem to be tight, and that's really great. Now, of course, none of this matters if the pen is not enjoyable to write with. It's fun showing off that ink. So let's see what kind of a writing experience real quick we get. Again, there's fuller review of these online. So this is the Jinhao 992. And my immediate reaction is very smooth. It says it's a fine, but it reminds me more of a medium, to be honest, which is fine for me. That's kind of what I prefer. It is plenty wet. So yeah, I think totally acceptable. So I think this, again, I don't know how much you should trust this, but I think at least at first glance, without having stored this for and used it for weeks and weeks, I would say it's a pretty fair contender for a inexpensive demonstrator fountain pen.